Hello, everyone. I hope everybody had a great weekend. And today we're going to be talking about the Wildcard weekend in the NFL. So stay with me. Hello, everyone. This is Jordantalks, and today we're back with another episode, and we're talking about Wildcard weekend. So the first game we're going to start out with is the Dolphins and the Chiefs that took place on Saturday night, and the Chiefs won 26-7 and eliminated the Dolphins from the wild card round. And the Chiefs are going to move on to the Divisional, where they'll be facing the Bills, which we'll talk about later in the podcast. The one thing I want to talk about is the Chiefs' defense. The defense did a great job of containing Tyreek Hill and jamming him on the line so he won't get where he needs to go as fast as he wants to. And that leads to my other topic, which is Tua. So Tua wasn't able to sit in the pocket and throw that ball because the receivers were jamming and they were also blitzing Tua as well. So Tua could not do anything. And also it was cold, and the Dolphins couldn't really play in the cold because they were so used to South Beach. The Dolphins really could have made it much easier for themselves by winning a couple more games during the regular season, but they didn't. So as a result, they had to go up to Kansas City in the negative 13-degree weather. That's what it was, I believe, and play ball. And Pat Mahomes seemed very comfortable in that game. He was throwing like it was regular weather, and he outshined Tua in that moment. So that's how the Chiefs won. And if the Chiefs carry that on with the Bills, they can possibly go to the AFC Championship. The next game that took place that day, same day I think, was Texans and Browns. The Texans and Browns game really surprised me because I picked the Browns to win. If you see my last episode, I picked the Browns to win over the Texans because the Texans was just a young team, and I felt like the younger teams in the playoffs wouldn't really live up to those expectations. But I was wrong. I feel like the reason why this game went left was because of Joe Flacco's turnovers. Flacco threw about 2 or 3 pick sixes in that game, and it shifted everything. I'm going to pull up the score right here. The score was 45-14. Texans won. And like I said, Flacco just decided to turn the ball over too many times, and the Texans just capitalized off of it, which leads me to my next topic of C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud played one great game, and he is one of the young quarterbacks that I would love to see thrive in the NFL, and I feel like he can. Because in this game, he seemed poised. He was able to lead his team, and they were able to come out with the win. And also with D'Amico Ryans with his first year as the rookie head coach coming over from the 49ers. As we go into the next day of playoff football, which is Sunday, we'll be talking about something I really don't want to talk about on this podcast, and I really think I wouldn't be talking about on this podcast. Packers and Cowboys. This game surprised me a lot, but the more I think about the game, the more not surprised I am, because Jordan Love is truly a good quarterback, and he showed that against the Dallas Cowboys in the playoff game. And Dak Prescott was not playing his great game. All season we was talking about Dak Prescott as a fan base and as an organization. Just hey, he's gonna rise to the occasion. He's gonna do what he needs to do. But in that game, you could tell he was forcing a lot of throws, especially to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb sometimes was not open on every play. And then at times he was open, CD sometimes will find himself dropping the pass. So nobody on the field was on the same page when it came to the offensive side of the ball. And Packers took advantage. They got a couple of interceptions, and there were a lot of 3-and-outs that took place in the first half. The only time they scored was typically in garbage time where Packers was just letting them score. And it was just sad to see because we couldn't even come up with points in the first half like that. I mean, it took us to the end of the first half to get a touchdown. So it was very bad to see. I blame the coaching, the play calling. We have to throw to other receivers as well. We were trying too hard to get that ball to CD, like I said, and other receivers weren't getting the right opportunities. Then once we started opening up to more receivers, it was too little, too late. And on the defensive side of the ball, we could not contain Aaron Jones in the run game. Aaron Jones was running everywhere. He was getting about 8 to 9 yards to carry and moving the package down the field. Then if we try to do the run, they'll go over to us on the pass. And Jordan Love, like I said, is just a great quarterback. He's learned from one of the best Aaron Rodgers. You could tell in his mechanics, his mannerisms. He's throwing that ball the way he's supposed to. And Matt LaFleur just let him do what he needs to do. And they just was a great offense that day. Jerry Jones is one that I want to talk about on my topic. One of the topics I want to talk about, only because he's became the reason why the Cowboys cannot win in the playoffs and have not had a Super Bowl in the past 28 years. Jerry Jones, every time we have one of those seasons where we're winning a lot, where we have potentially a great playoff run ahead of us, Jerry Jones adds more pressure by mouthing off to the media about how great of a team the Cowboys are. We know how great of a team the Cowboys are, but we can't just sit here and jinx ourselves. Jerry Jones had an opportunity to win multiple Super Bowls and even more Super Bowls if he had kept Jimmy Johnson from the start instead of letting him go and getting Barry Switzer. And it started way back. It started from there. Jerry Jones just want to be the guy at the forefront who wants to take all the credit for the Cowboys' wins. And right now, he just needs to sit back and just be the owner of the team instead of trying to be over everything. And I feel like he's never going to do that, and he's always going to be stuck in his ways. Off from that game, sadly, we have the Rams and Lions. Rams and Lions played, if I could pull that up, hold on. Rams and Lions played a wild card game in Detroit at home, and this was the time where we saw a revenge game between two quarterbacks who were traded from both of these teams. They basically swapped teams, Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford. This was a game where the Lions really needed it the most, and they showed it from the jump. I saw the first drive. Jared Goff was poised, throwing the ball around, and he had great resources that to him. He had Jahmyr Gibbs, he had Reynolds, he had Amon-Ra St. Brown. He had everybody. And he just did what he had to do on the field. So that was nice. It was great to see that. And on the Rams, they fought back. This was a 1-point game, 23-24. And they played. This is a better game. This is a way better game than I turned it out to be. And I just saw it as a revenge game. It's just like, hey, Jared Goff wanted to show the Rams that, hey, you traded me, but I could still play ball. And Jared Goff went out there and did that. And Coach Campbell, shout out to him. He did a great job of coaching that team and coaching them to be aggressive and with a play style that can put them through the playoffs. They could take them very far. And the home team just gained momentum throughout the game. Like I said, just the whole time they were just doing it for the city of Detroit, and that was very beautiful to see. I saw the Steelers versus Bills. I feel like the Steelers and Bills was just something that I predicted. The Bills did win. Mike Tomlin is probably in his final years as the head coach of the Steelers. He done many great things for the Steelers. He won Super Bowls. He took them to many playoff runs, and I feel like it's the end for Mike Tomlin because you take them to all these winning seasons now, you're not even getting past the wild card round. So it'll be the end for him. And the Bills, like I said in my previous podcast, they play with a very intense play style, and they play like they don't care. They play like they have something to prove. And it's going to be very interesting to see in the divisional round how the Bills will turn out against the Chiefs for like the 10th time. They say it was like the 10th matchup. And that'll be very good to see. Going into, well, we already on Monday, but going later into Monday, my eyes are itching. Hold on. We have the Eagles and Bucks. Now, this is the one I predicted right because I just seen the Eagles. They were just on a downward spiral, and it seemed like they was never going to recover. They got defensive miscues. They have offensive miscues, and it was just too much going on. You have Jalen Hurts throwing with a bad hand. He also was fighting a bad knee throughout the season, so that was also bad. And the Bucks, which is a pretty much well-rounded team, more than the Philadelphia Eagles. And Baker Mayfield went out there and showed that he could still play quarterback at the level where he needs to. And he had the resources for it. He had Jaleel White at running back. He had Mike Evans. He had everybody, Chris Godwin, to work with. And Todd Bowles did a great job of letting Baker Mayfield run the show. And also, we have to give credit to the Bucs defense. The defense held the Eagles to 9 points, and that's all the Eagles could come up with. The Bucs defense is still something that's great, and pretty much they're the same defense we saw when Tom Brady was there for his Super Bowl run. So it wouldn't be a surprise to see the Bucs defense actually flourish, and especially going into the divisional round where they'll be playing, I believe, the Lions, and the 49ers will play the Packers. Okay, yeah. So that's going to be very interesting to see. So divisional round is very interesting. Sadly, the Cowboys are out of it. It's very sad to see. So now I'm going to give you guys my predictions for the divisional round this weekend. So first we have the Texans and Ravens. Now, the Ravens, they're on the roll. They had a chance to rest this week. I'm going to go Ravens only because Lamar Jackson is ready. He wants to still show that he's an MVP caliber quarterback and also a Super Bowl quarterback in this game and also in the playoffs. So Lamar Jackson probably will show something to the Texans, and C.J. Stroud, he will have a good game and he will fight back, but I don't think that it'll be to the level of Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. And you also have to give credit to the Ravens defense because their defense have the most turnovers, I believe, in the NFL. The next game I want to go is the other AFC matchup, with the Chiefs and the Bills. Chiefs and Bills, this is a pretty tricky one, only because you look at this and you go, who's going to win? Because both teams they experienced both sides. Some teams, sometimes they won, sometimes they lost. And I'm going to go with the Bills. The Bills, they showing that they are going to be a team that's going to run through everybody, and they don't even care. The Chiefs have struggled this season. I feel like it's going to show in this game because the Bills are just a more well put together team, and overall they just can play. I'm not knocking the Chiefs. I'm just saying the Chiefs don't really have nothing on the Bills right now, and the Bills just have their number. The next divisional round matchup we have is the Packers and 49ers. This is going to be an interesting game. I keep on saying that, but this is going to be an interesting game only because Jordan Love, what he did against the Cowboys, if he carries this on to the 49ers, this is going to be a really intense game. I feel like I will have the 49ers winning only because 49ers have a much up-tempo offense, and they can throw to anybody. You could throw to Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. You could throw to Jennings. You could throw to Christian McCaffrey. You can even run Christian McCaffrey. So the 49ers will come out with this one. I feel like it will be by single digits, if not probably 10 points, so 10 points or less. And that's how I think that game is going to go. Our final matchup will be the Buccaneers and Lions. I got the Lions winning and moving on to the NFC Championship only because the Lions are just a very hungry team this year. You can see how they play. They really want to show that they can compete in the NFL, and they're going to start by doing it in the NFC during this playoff run. And the Buccaneers, I feel like, are going to experience that, but this is also going to be a close game. I feel like it's going to be within 10 or less points, and you will have the Lions coming out on top. So that's all for my predictions and my reviews on the wildcard games. I hope you guys have a great weekend. This is the end of my podcast episode, and I'm out.